Popboy, ready to go. I've been struggling valiantly against 2K's twisted design, but it's a good life lesson, for you kids at home. You sometimes you just, with anything, you gotta pick your battles. You win some, you lose some. You'll see what I mean. But the testing is working overall. I've had a lot of great competitive, just really fun games lately with these sliders. And this time we're gonna take care of, we got the foul sliders today. Okay, and then after that, got a little bonus for you guys. There's 2 sliders where I recently found like the official breaking points. Don't know if that makes sense, but stick around for those updates. You'll see what I mean. All right, let's get it started. Right from the top, we got the first foul slider. That's the over-the-back fouls. In the game, these only really happen on rebounds. Now, they are less common than they've been in the past. I did a lot of testing to figure out why that is. It's just because in 2K20, there's new rebounding animations, and it just creates a different type of interaction, right, between the 2 guys battling for the rebound. Now we have a lot more guys kind of going straight up. When they're not in good position, they go more straight up, and they just try to deflect the ball. They try to bat it out. So it's not about anything being messed up with the slider. That's the real reason for that. So what we're going to do with the slider, we're going to put it at 80. Really wouldn't go any higher than that. We don't want them to start, calling these fouls when they're not really there, because most of the time they're just not. 80's good for that one. Let's reluctantly move on to the next one. You remember when I was talking about picking your battles? You win some, you lose some. Well, here you go. We've definitely lost with the charging. We've got to take the L and move on. I guess there's just nothing. I don't know. We're not. There's just nothing we can do. They're just not gonna fucking happen. We're gonna put this thing all the way up to 99. I don't know why. I guess just cause I don't like to put anything up to the very last notch, because sometimes you get some weird stuff happening. I don't like to do that with anything in 2K, so that's why it's just at 99 instead of 100. I don't want to create new problems, but whatever. Let's just move on. Now, we're still going to take a little bit of an L with blocking. They're similar to charges, but they're just not quite as bad. They're still, overall, they're much less prevalent than they are in the real NBA. So with the slider, that's why we're going to have it almost all the way up. We're going to put it at 95. Let's move on from these 2. Let's go to reaching. We want this one at 59. That's the perfect spot. It's going to force you to be strategic and, pick your spots well and have good timing, just like you would need to do in real life. And it'll let you get away with, I think, the perfect amount, and it'll call you for it if you're doing too much. So 59's good there, pretty simple. Let's move on to the big one, the shooting fouls. Now, of course, you guys know me. I ran all the numbers. I compared everything. So good there, but this one really goes deeper than numbers. It's really more about, are we getting a good mixture of calls when the opportunity is there? Because opportunities for shooting fouls are not always equal, as we know. You really have to look more at that than just the raw numbers. And I was extremely happy with the results I got when you have this set on 66. So it's a good balance. Now, I still think they need a separate slider for shooting fouls on jump shots as opposed to shooting fouls at the rim, because we all know we don't get as many fouls on jump shots, especially 3-pointers, as we'd like. But it's a good balance, a good mixture with it at 66. I'm getting all kinds of fouls. Yes, I would like to get more on jump shots, but I am getting them. I don't want to get crazy jacking up the slider trying to chase, getting more foul calls on jump shots and then have way too many called when you're driving to the rim. I seem to always be doing this kind of dance with 2K, but 66 will be the best that we can get. Let's move on. We got loose ball fouls next. We want this slider at 72. That'll give us a good realistic number, and it won't interrupt the flow of the game too much. Alright, so let's come to the last one. Illegal screen frequency. We're going to want this at 54. Don't overreact if you see a few of these happen in a short period of time, because it's just what they do in 2K20. So you just have to look long term with these. You put it at 54, I'm telling you, it gives you a very realistic number of illegal screen calls compared to how many you get in real NBA games these days. Okay, now with all these foul sliders, guys, they're going to be the same for every difficulty level. Okay, because foul frequency should have nothing to do with difficulty, right? And by the same token, they're also going to be the same for both user and CPU. Because when you actually control for the number of opportunities to get a foul, when you test beyond just the raw numbers, which of course I did, there's no actual real bias in the game towards one side or the other when you really break it down. So there's no reason for us to have these sliders anything other than equal for each side. All right, now let's get to the bonus. I told y'all I got 2 sliders where I officially found their literal breaking points. So what does that actually mean? Well, for the first one, it's the alley-oop success slider. Here's what it is. So the critical number, there's a critical number here, and it's going to be 47, all right? And this is for the user. And if we go any lower than that number, even if we just go to 46, for some reason, it's just like a sudden and drastic change. That's what I mean by breaking point. And what happens is with this one, for some reason, as soon as you cross that threshold, suddenly now nobody wants to finish an alley-oop with an actual dunk. I mean, you still get some. It doesn't completely eliminate them, of course, but they're just as likely now to try to just tap it in or finish with a soft layup. And they still make a decent amount. That's not the point, but it's not what we want. So how do we react with the slider set? Well, we're going to want to go ahead and put the floor right above that breaking point. All right, so that's where we're drawing the line in the sand. So it'll look like this. We're going to have the hardest set, my Beyond Hall of Fame, the extra challenging set. We're going to have it at 47, of course, right above that breaking point. It'll be at 47 for the user. And then for the extra challenging set, it'll be at 54 for the CPU. So we make it as challenging as we can for the user for the hardest set, but we're avoiding that breaking point, okay? And then we can see it moves up from there. Hall of Fame, user 48, CPU 53. You can see it all there. Superstar, user 49, CPU 51. All-Star 51, 50. Pro 52, 49. And Rookie 54, 47. The next one, that's Midrange Success. For that one, the breaking point is 46. So once it hits 45, for some reason the percentage just absolutely tanks on open mids. Man, that's when we enter into the realm of unrealistic bullshit. Here's how we're going to react. Once again, what we want to do with this one, we want to put that floor right above that breaking point, right, for the hardest set, and then we'll build from there. So you'll see it all here for the extra challenging set, the Beyond Hall of Fame set. We got the user there at 46, of course, for mid-range success. And then we got CPU for the extra challenging set at 58. And we can see it go on from there. We got Hall of Fame, user 47, CPU 57, Superstar, user 48, CPU 55, All-Star 50, 54, Pro 51, 52, Rookie 53, 50. All right, y'all, that'll take care of it. We are good to go. Now, you probably know by now where you can get the full sets, but if you don't, that info is in the description for you. Just remember, as always, those sets have every single update built into them except for the ones from the very latest slider update video. You know, I'll put the playlist link in the description. It's very easy to tell what the newest one is. Just know those are the only ones you got to put in manually. But if you got anything for me, get up in the comments, pop that like button. If you enjoyed, if you found this useful, appreciate you guys. Helps the channel grow so we can hopefully do more in the future. There's so much more I want to get to, but don't you worry, I'm not gonna stop, like, ever, pretty much. So keep yourself updated, subscribe to the channel, hit your notifications on if you haven't done so yet. Make sure, of course, make sure you stay safe. I want to see you come on back around here next time for the next edition of 2K with the Popboy.